Navigating Love, Unmasking the Pitfalls of Silent Treatment in Relationships. Roller coaster called love, prelude. So, you say you're in love, huh? Let me guess. Everything's just peachy, hearts, rainbows, and the chattering unicorns, right? I'm here to burst your sunshine-filled bubble, but fear not. I come bearing wisdom. So let's talk about that elusive beast, love. It's as complicated as the last season of Game of Thrones, but a smidge more satisfying. Next, we've fed the lie of the perfect relationship with an endless diet of rom-coms and reality TV. Newsflash: perfection is as elusive as the plotline in a Christopher Nolan movie. But oh, buckle up, because while you're courting unicorns and chasing rainbows, there's something called the silent treatment looming just around the corner. Trust me, it's more suspenseful than the season finale of Stranger Things. It's not the hold you by your throat kind of suspense. It's more like the I've got a secret and I'm not telling you type. One minute you're sharing caramel popcorn, the next they're Ice Queen or Stonehead. Love suddenly went from bring me sunshine to Houston, we have a problem. Good luck figuring that out. And remember, the one who masters the art of silence often forgets the melody of speech. But more on that later. Jumping into the cold silence. Understanding the silent treatment. Cue the dramatic music as we brace for the chill of the silent treatment. Ah yes, the silent treatment, a chilly weapon of communication warfare where one person decides to become as verbally extinct as a dodo. But why the love for silence, you ask? Buckle up, it's psychology time. Well, as it turns out, every single one of us harbors an attention-seeking, pouty, petulant child within us. No, really. We throw this deafening silent tantrum when things don't bend our way. It's our inaudible holler for attention, and a glorified snow cone to give our companion a brain freeze. This phenomenon has less to do with tranquility, and more to do with freezing the other person out. A grown-up version of, I'm not talking to you scenario. Some use it as a defense mechanism, some for manipulation, and others because they haven't quite figured out how to express I'm vexed in a grown-up way. We've all been there. So when you find your better half acting like a mime artist at a carnival, you know they're upping their psychological game, deploying the silent treatment. Hold tight, believer. The choppy seas of silence might be tough to navigate. But remember, even a mime needs to take a breath. Time for a crash course in communication next. So, stay tuned. Unmasking silent treatment, the sinister ghost in our relationships. Let's take a step into the amusement park that is your mind after being subjected to the silent treatment. Picture this. You're stuck in a labyrinth, where every turn leads to towering walls of self-doubt. Are those walls reflective? Oh, absolutely. Your every flaw is magnified. Your past mistakes are on billboards. Are you lost yet? Now let's make it spookier by adding a dimly lit tunnel of prolonged exposure. Your partner's silence has aged like a fine wine, and oh boy, are you intoxicated. Every moment spent in silence is like a haunted house full of creeping insecurities. And no, there's no exit at the end. There's just a mirror with your reflection and your worst fears. Naughty little twins, aren't they? Remember when you thought long-term? That would never happen to us. Ah, the innocence of star-crossed lovers. By now, you've been on this silent treatment roller coaster so much that the attendants know you by name. You're no longer just a love-struck individual in a relationship. You're an honorary resident of Doubtville, sipping homemade despair from a cup of emotional manipulation. But hey, welcome to the club. We have jackets, embroidered with unshared feelings, missed connections, and the giant elephant in the room that is lack of communication. They are pretty comfy, if I do say so myself. Love's language, communicate or complicate. So in this wild goose chase called love, communication sure does seem like the shiniest golden egg, doesn't it? After all, love without communication is like a burger without the bun, messy, senseless, and inevitably going to ruin your favorite white shirt. Here's where comes the amusing little plot twist, though. The infamous silent treatment we've been nattering about. Well, turns out it kind of is communication. It's the unspoken sandwich board sign that yells, I'm mad at you and I ain't gonna speak. Irony, thy name is love. Now, if we're talking about crafting keys, it's sort of similar to when you're really desperate to reach the bathroom, and there's this one key on the 2000 keychain that snaps open your relief. It's just about finding that one key, aka learning your partner's love language. Actions speak louder than words, words of affirmation, or inconspicuously leaving the last slice of pizza for them, whatever floats their boat. Unlocking this would mean having one foot in the door of the lovingly ever after land of relationships. Remember, love's like that crabby old lock that just won't open to a generic, overused key. It's bespoke, purposeful, articulate communication that is its way into your partner's heart. So there you go. We're leveling up the love game, and boy, it isn't Scrabble, drowning or navigating out of silence. It's a choice. Indeed, silence can be louder than a thunderclap. But unlike Thor's hammer, this kind of thunder sends you cowering under the relationship duvet. Moving on, let's play a quick game of Spot the Silent Treatment, where you decipher when your partner's me time is snowballing into a full-blown avalanche of silence. Don't worry, there won't be any prize, just a chance to salvage your sanity. Wink. Stepping into spotlight next. Operation Handling the Silent Treatment. I wish I could tell you to take a violin and start playing heartbreak tunes. But hey, it's not a melodramatic movie. Start with a conversation, maybe even write a letter. Oh, and no, don't get any ideas about a second war of words. Keep it polite and simple, like a lemon tart. Rekindling the romance, post-silent treatment. Ah, yes, you survived the icy tundra of silent treatment land, but there's still some frostbite damage lingering. So how do you heal your relationship from the Great Freeze? And how do you keep from catching frostbite again? Well, grab your mittens and read on, brave soul. First up in our post-silent treatment journey is damage control. Will a simple "I'm sorry" and a Band-Aid fix it? Or do we need some deep massage therapy in the form of open and honest communication? Newsflash. It's the latter, but yeah, a warm hug or two won't hurt either. Next up, discussing the elephant in the room. A teeny tiny whisper-sized reminder. The elephant isn't actually hiding. It's just, quiet. Like silent treatment, quiet. So instead of tiptoeing around it, face square into that gigantic pachyderm and share your feelings and concerns. It's time for some Dumbo-sized conversations. Finally, it's time to make communication as normal as pumpkin spice lattes in the fall. Embrace your inner talk show host and gab it up regularly. Start with a sprinkle of chats about day-to-day stuff and work towards those deeper, spicy conversations. So go reclaim your piece of the proverbial love pie by thawing the frost and fanning the flames. Warm conversations, topped with a generous scoop of listening, will keep cold silence at bay and bake your relationship to perfection. All the communication calories, none of the guilt. So, we've voyaged through the treacherous waters of silent treatment in relationships, and now it's time to ask the million-dollar question: is it cruel or just misunderstood? Well, there's no black or white answer here, folks. Silent treatment can be a double-edged sword, and sometimes it might be worth considering if it's adding spice or just a nasty dose of cyanide to your love life. Now let's talk about speaking up. Love has its own language, and it's crucial for you and your partner to learn each other's dialects, or well, forever hold your peace, and maybe some serious grudges. Imagine if Shakespeare never spoke. Would we have those breathtaking love stories? Probably not, my dear reader. So it's vital to master the art of honest, open, and empowering communication. You see, the language of love should flow like poetry, and your partner ought to be there patiently sipping their coffee, kind of like open mic night at your favorite cafe minus the occasional booing. So, mold your words into a thoughtful screenplay, learn to listen like an eager audience member, and together, create a harmonious symphony that even Cupid would envy. As the curtain falls on this play about relationships and silent treatments, remember, embrace the art of communication, and you'll sail smoothly down the river of love or paddle furiously like you're in a whitewater rafting adventure. Either way, you're on the ride of your life, so savor it and laugh or cry along the way.